Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Steve Ball, Restoring Families Radio, Custody Wars, Family Law Reform Movement. I mean, I'm all over the place. Um, wait for the to kind of populate a little bit. Uh, Boy, today's been quite a day. It's been for some very heart wrenching, for others very eye opening, and yet, well, for what we can be, I'm seeing lots and lots of people come together and hold spiritual hands, for the lack of a better term, because some of us live so far away from each other. But I see a lot of people are holding spiritual hands, and that's pretty nifty. Um, you know, I I got a lot to say, but I want to cover this other story at the same time. However, I am gonna open up with this little letter here, okay? And you know, I just kind of scribbled it out. I might not be the best at this ever, but here we go. Um, Dear friends, today many of us feel the loss of a fellow reformer. At this hour, we pray to the powers that be, Jesus, the Great Spirit, Mother Nature, the Goddess, or whatever power you subscribe to. We ask for peace, understanding, charity, truth, and cohesion. Let those who are alone feel the comforts of the people that they call friends or loved ones. Lord, if there was justice to be served, if there is justice to be served, please bring your justice quickly. All I can say is thank you, God. Thank you for the moment to come out here and talk about this. But there is another story in the news, and I want to take a moment and cover that story with some of you guys. The situation with Dom is completely terrible and horrific. Still under investigation, from what I understand. Lots of information to cover there. I would like to bring your guys' attention to this other story, which I found to be completely grotesque. Um, yes, I know, Mr. Lee. I know how you feel. But anyway, so here we go. Uh, this story comes out of Tokerville, Utah. I'm thinking I said that right. Again, if you have small children in the room that could be listening, probably not a good time to. I mean, like, I have a child over here, but she doesn't understand. Uh, so here's the deal. This is a Q13 news report I'm going to read here. Um, Here we go. Utah mother faces child abuse charges for her 12-year-old son when her 12-year-old son was found extremely malnourished, weighing only 30 pounds. The investigation started January 8th when the boy's father took him to the hospital. Officials said the boy's father found him locked in an upstairs bathroom at the mother's Tokerville home in southern Utah. They said he was so malnourished he could not stand up. Washington County Lieutenant David Krause said the child looked like he was a victim of a concentration camp from World War II. Krause said they believed the boy had been locked in the bathroom for at least a year. Authorities got a warrant to search the home of 36-year-old Brandy K. Janes, the boy's mother. Investigators said the bathroom door had two locks, allowing it to be locked from the outside. Detectives said the living conditions inside the bathroom were deplorable. They found a single blanket, feces scattered across the room, empty cans of beans, and a camera that could monitor the activity of the child from the bathroom, inside the bathroom. All of the light switches were in the off position and covered with large amounts of duct tape to keep the lights off. Officials said two other children were removed from the home, both siblings of the abused boy. However, the two other children did not require medical attention. One of the siblings said that the last conversation they had with their brother through the door was 6 months ago. According to deputies, Janes told him the boy was locked in the bathroom because he wanted to sleep in there, and she locked him inside for his safety when he left the home. Um, Lieutenant Krause said he believes Janes used the camera to monitor the boy from her cell phone. He said the siblings told investigators that they could see their brother in the bathroom via their mother's phone. Jace is now awaiting aggravated felony abuse, child abuse charges. The boy is expected to be in the hospital for the next several weeks. Ladies and gentlemen, this is just as sad as what we're dealing with the loss of our associate. And yes, that's a terrible situation. However, with all due respect, the news goes on. Now, what we're looking at here, there's a number of things that can be said. Wow, that's a lot of failure on the system. We hear so much about no child left behind. One could wonder, why the father had to bring the father. And, I know there's some great mothers out there, and I know that there's some great mothers listening to me. And I would like to believe that none of you, and none of the fathers that I know either, would ever engage in this horrific, terrible, sickening activity. But we have to wonder why the father was not granted custody to begin with. There's nothing here that actually talks about where the father was in the relationship and or the picture. But at some point, you'd think a school official would have said, where the hell is this kid? At some point, you would think somebody would ask the important question, where's this 12-year-old child, and why has he been locked in this bathroom for all this time? You would think that it would click with somebody. But apparently, this kid just slipped through the cracks somehow, some way. And, again, we the taxpayers are going to flip the bill for his medical, and we the taxpayers are going to flip the bill for her incarceration. And, however this boils down, there's only one entity to blame, and that is the court. Pure and simple. There's no way around it. The interesting thing about that is there's not one entity at the court that's actually going to be able to take responsibility for their clear incompetency. There's not one single entity that we can say, where were you and why weren't you doing your damn job? Were you asleep at the wheel, Your Honor? Were you asleep at the wheel? Because on this case, somebody was clearly asleep at the wheel. But anyways, I just think this story is completely terrible and repugnant. I'll wait for some of your comments to roll in. I read the story. Again, you can find this story here. Boy locked in bathroom was at least 1 year, police say. 1 year to be locked in a bathroom. Did the kid never go to school? Did he never have a pediatrician? Did somebody not think to ask a question? They see her running around all over town. Nobody noticed the kid missing. Nobody noticed that the little boy wasn't there. At some point, and we don't know because this article doesn't say, at some point the father has to go and pick up this child and take it to the hospital, break in the door, knock mom out. We have no idea what happened. I can't speculate. All we can do is look at the story for what it is, the way that it got posted here. But Q13 Fox kicked the story out. If anybody's interested, I'll share the link. Again, it's just one of those terrible stories. And despite what's going on with Dominic, I think this is worth mentioning. And I know that Dominic thing, that's in my head too, and there's a lot of facts on that, and there's a lot of things to talk about there. There's a lot of speculation going on in that direction. How he died or why he died, or, if he committed suicide, or, right now it might be important to just let the investigators run the course of their investigation in that case. But in this child abuse case over here, authorities, they said they got a warrant, apparently, 11 months and maybe, 36 days too late, 12 months. A year, that's what I'm trying to say. Apparently they were a year late, but, so, what am I saying here? I guess I'm saying that some CPS is important to have, but maybe not this stringent CPS that some of us are dealing with and or have dealt with. Some CPS is important. I think it's important for agents to be trained in what they do and have a strong knowledge of what they do. In this case, I think based on what we're seeing in this, if any of these accusations, if this any of this story is true, I don't think this the woman, this person, or forgive me, I'm trying not to use any more crass terminology on my live feeds. This woman should probably, not see the light of day for a long time. I mean, that's, this is all there is to it. Hey, so yeah, it's a completely terrible situation, and that's what I've got for you right now. Follow this story in the news. Let's make sure that this individual here, let's see if we can drop her name one more time. Um, where did I see that at? Yeah, Janes. It just says Janes used a camera. Jaynes. John Adam Young, Nora Edwards, Sam. And again, the story's posted January 10th, 2017. Tribune Media Wire, and it's posted out of Torqueville. I think that's right. Torquerville, maybe. Toquerville, Utah. Torquerville, Utah. And it says right here that this is also reported by KSTU TV. So if any of our court watchers or anybody want to watch that particular case go down, that could be a fun one. You're going to watch somebody go to prison probably for the rest of their life. And I'd be surprised. Maybe I wouldn't be surprised if they give her like a 2 or 3 year sentence and let her go with there's no child contact order, some type, and basically a slap on the wrist. Because if any male had done this here in America, you wouldn't see the light of day until your grandchildren were 100. You'd get 1,000 fucking years for this crime. This lady right here, I'll bet she won't even get 5. And that's just off my hip. But that's what I'm saying. To be to be her, and the opposite, to be a guy and have to go through this, you're getting 1,000 years. She's gonna go in there and give him some sob story. Hang on. What do you need, baby? Oh, can you wait till I'm done talking to the people? Okay. Anyway, so I got to go take care of the kiddo. Thanks for joining me here, guys. I appreciate it. You guys are all awesome. Keep up the fight. Never give up. Never quit. Never go away. Never stop wanting to love your kids. Never stop being there for your kids. And anybody that tells you that you're doing the wrong thing, doesn't know what you're going through, isn't really your friend, isn't sticking by your side, that is a bunch of bullshit. Because I'll tell you one thing that's true. The minute you go away, the minute you throw in your hat and say you've had enough, that's the minute that the kid can look at you and say, why didn't you try? Where were you? Why didn't you try? Why was I left out in the cold? That's the minute you quit, the minute you walk away. You stay in that fight. You stay in that fight. You reach out. You get a crutch. You climb the ladder. You do what you got to do. Don't give up. Don't go away. Never say never. That's right. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. We'll catch you all on the next show. All right. Bye-bye.